From the war-torn world of Serra emerges General RAAM, the ruthless leader of the Locust Horde. And from the grim dark future of Warhammer 40k steps forth Ghazghkull Thraka, the prophet of Gork and Mork. Time to see who would win in a fight to the death. General RAAM wasn't always the imposing figure we know him as. Little is known about RAAM's early life. As the Locust Horde civilization was in full bloom, RAAM was a visionary of sorts, always having ambition for the Locust Horde to become stronger and more dominant. But the fungal parasite known as the emulsion was capable of infecting, hijacking, and mutating its host. The infected locusts were known as the lambent. With this shocking revelation, the locusts and the infected locusts would fight each other in a form of a civil war. RAAM would quickly rise the ranks and eventually be promoted to High General by Queen Mara. The Locust Horde would then invade the surface in an event known as Emergence Day. The Locust War would go on for a while, but in 14 AE, he would be gunned down by Marcus after RAAM lost his Krill shield. RAAM is one scary figure to see on the battlefield, standing at a menacing 10 feet tall and weighing in at probably 1,000 pounds, given his armor and sheer size. Now, figuring out how much he lifts is not as simple, since the average Locust drone is about 6'7", and in the most recent E-Day trailer, we see a Locust drone lift up Marcus with ease to the ceiling. Since Marcus probably weighed around 310 pounds with his armor on, this means a Locust drone should be able to lift around 800 to 1,000 pounds, with 1,200 pounds being the maximum. But RAAM is noticeably built different, since he's 4 feet taller than the average drone and weighs more. If we just scale up those numbers, we can see that General RAAM would be able to lift around 3,000 to 4,000 pounds, with 5,000 pounds being the maximum. He's got a physique that Sam Sulek dreams about. Also, considering RAAM is a general of the Locust Horde, he's probably a pretty damn good tactician and is able to plan assaults effectively. RAAM can be seen using a variety of weapons. He loved using his Troika heavy machine gun, and he can also use a Boltok pistol. He carries around a giant serrated knife that is like 5 feet long. In this scene here, Kim probably felt like he got stabbed by a rod of rebar flying at 40 miles per hour because of the force that RAAM exerts here. But RAAM's deadliest weapon is his Krill swarm. RAAM has a very close relationship with the Krill, as he can command them however he pleases. RAAM is often surrounded by a swirling cloud of Krill, which acts as both offense and defense. This dark aura makes it difficult for enemies to target him and provides him with a layer of protection. And for the offensive part, he can send out the Krill to tear apart anything. But will all these feats matter when he's up against Ghazghkull Thraka is the best orc warboss there's ever been. To understand why Ghazghkull is the best orc warboss, we have to take a quick look at his lore. Then we'll get to the stats. Ghazghkull began as a regular orc boy on the planet of Urk. His life changed dramatically when he was gravely injured, taking a bullet to the head. To be specific, a bolter round to the head. He survived against all odds, and he was then cybernetically enhanced by the infamous pain boy, Mad Doc Grotznick. On this day is when Ghazghkull would change forever. He began to have visions that he believed he was sent by the orc gods Gork and Mork to create a great wog. The day when Ghazghkull Thraka would begin his journey to becoming the greatest orc warboss ever. Now, Ghazghkull Thraka went through 2 of the wars for Armageddon before getting decapitated by Ragnar Blackmane in the 3rd war for Armageddon. But fortunately, Ghazghkull has some of that orc plot armor, which means his head was put onto a giant body of orcs stitched together by Mad Doc Grotznick. And he's still out there waging his great wog to this day. Ghazghkull Mag Uruk Thraka is definitely someone you don't want to see on the battlefield. Ghazghkull stands at around a height of 12 feet and weighs in at probably around 1,500 pounds. This is one hell of an orc. He dwarfs Space Marines and is more comparable to a Primarch. Ghazghkull can probably lift around the 5,000 pound range, and maybe being pushed he can lift up to 10,000 pounds. Ghazghkull is also one durable bastard, considering he's taken a round to the head and was still alive. In fact, he got even stronger after it. He's had his head chopped off and still lived, which might be a testament to how BS orcs are, but I think some of it is durability. Now, Ghazghkull is an orc, but he has planned some pretty cunning battle plans, so I think he's definitely one of the smarter orcs out there. Ghazghkull also has one of the craziest suits of orc power armor an orc could ever want, since it provides him with great protection and enhances his strength. The suit even has 2 built-in weapons. Ghazghkull has a custom shooter called Orc's Roar, which utterly shreds through basically anything standing in its path of destruction. On the other hand, literally on the other hand, he has his massive power claw called Gork's Claw, which can crush anything it gets in its grasp. Now that I've covered Ghazghkull Thraka, I think it's finally time to see who would win in a fight to the death. Oh man, this is the closest versus battle I've ever done. Both fighters are pretty even, but ultimately, General RAAM takes this one for the Locust Horde. Ghazghkull Thraka is one of the strongest orc warlords out there, but he has no way of really dispelling RAAM's krill. On top of that, RAAM's armor is quite durable, so even if Ghazghkull's bullets made it through the krill swarm, his armor would take it. RAAM's Troika has punched holes through Cog's soldiers, whose armor is made out of osmium, which is stated to be on the same level as titanium. Since Orc Mega Armor is built using just the metal lying around, the armor wouldn't be able to keep tanking rounds from the Troika heavy machine gun. Now if RAAM and Ghazghkull get into melee range, Ghazghkull will start to get more of an upper hand since he's got a height advantage, weight advantage, and a strength advantage. But this is assuming he got through RAAM lighting his ass up unscathed. Let's not forget, RAAM can use the krill as an offensive tool, and pair that with his massive serrated knife, he'll be able to kill Ghazghkull in melee. RAAM's krill swarm is just too OP, and given that RAAM is quite similar in build to Ghazghkull, that helps the outcome of this battle. So yeah, ultimately, the ruthless Locust General RAAM takes the dub. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you don't agree with the outcome, then put what you think should have happened in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and check out my Discord while you're at it. That will also be in the comments below in a pinned comment. Mortal Wound, out.